My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of MaXXXine. And this is the third movie in the X trilogy. And people seem to love these movies, but not me. Like, I thought X was perfectly fine, well acted, well made, but too long, and it didn't know if it wanted to be a trashy slasher movie or an art house movie, and it's just in this unsatisfying bit in the middle. Then we got Paul, which is beautifully shot, but I found it very simplistic and one note. And this movie didn't do anything for me either. I thought this was actually quite bad. But let's begin talking about the cast. And Mia Goth, I thought, did a good job. She is able to carry the movie incredibly well, but I think her best moment in this movie is actually the first few minutes. After that, she's not bad, but it's nothing impressive. If we're talking about impressive though, then I'd talk about Kevin Bacon, who gave the best performance in his career in decades, if you ask me. He is great. Is it his best since Hollow Man? Maybe. Like, I haven't seen every Kevin Bacon movie, but he just has so much personality and he does everything he needs to perfectly. He elevated this character in every sense, easily the standout. Elizabeth Debicki, I thought, also did a real good job. She's not in the movie much, but she has a real presence to her, and I was impressed. Moses Sumney plays Maxine's best friend, and he did nothing. Every line delivery of his just fell completely flat. Giancarlo Esposito, it is so nice to see him not play a typical role. Like, he's always the evil businessman, and yes, he's a lawyer in this movie, but he plays him very differently. He has so much personality, and it was nice to see this side of him. I'd like to see him demonstrate his range more often. And then Michelle Monaghan and Bobby Cannavale are, both give fine performances, but they're not given much material to work with. The direction by Ty West I thought was pretty decent. He does a great job capturing that 80s aesthetic without being too over the top. It's not like every famous 80s song just throughout the movie. No, he just is able to capture the look and feel, which is quite impressive. One thing I love that he does is whenever the Maxine is having a flashback, it's done in grainy quality. Such a small decision, but one that I loved. And there were two standout scenes. The most brutal moment of the movie happens very early on, and I thought it was great. And then and you'll know that scene when it happens. And the second scene is involving a car that was real great. So some cool practical effects. And the start of this movie had some promise. Like, you've got this actress who's going to be in this controversial horror movie. And at the same time, she starts getting threats and she thinks that a serial killer might be after her. Like, this movie could have been really great, and I saw all the promise, but then as the movie progresses, it just flatlines, and it ends up being a very bland and forgettable movie. Thematically, it never really works. It's tough to talk about without giving anything away, but there are certain topics that this movie wants to explore, but it does so in such a surface level way, and I just found this movie to be completely lacking in that regard. I thought the character of Maxine was pretty bland. Like, I know that there's nothing interesting to talk about with her. She's tough, she stands up for herself, she's trying her best, and that's about it. The movie is never thrilling or tense. Like I said, there's those two brutal moments, but this movie never evoked emotion from me in any other moment. And then you've got this film production going on in the background, and we never actually see it. It just feels like wasted potential. Like it had all the elements for a great movie, and nothing feels realized. Instead, we get, once again, I can't give away the ending, but I do not like the direction of the last act. It's not satisfying, and it just follows this trend that Hollywood is doing recently, and yeah, did not work. And, oh, okay, there's one really stupid line of dialogue. Well, they're on the Universal studio, and they get to Bates Motel, and the director is just like, you know what, well, this is? This is where they filmed Psycho. And I'm like, well, obviously, like, why did you have to say it like that? So, look, despite me not caring for the first two movies all that much, I still wanted to love this movie. And as much promise as it has at the start, and even though it has good performances and it's well made enough, I just feel like this movie ends up offering nothing by the end. It's never thrilling, it's never tense, the story just loses you as it progresses, it fails to realize any key aspect of the movie, it's thematically empty, and by the end, it just completely flatlines. Well, you're going to forget about this movie in a couple of days. So I'll give MaXXXine a 4 out of 10. If you want to watch a great horror movie starring Mia Goth, then I'd recommend Marylebone. That movie doesn't get the credit it deserves, and it's great. And also, A Cure for Wellness is awesome. I love that movie. Like, she's in it, but it stars Dane DeHaan. But anyways, MaXXXine, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin